When I was little, I used to think that Conrad would appear out of thin air if I was thinking about him. I didn't know if it was fate or a coincidence.
Belly.
I just knew he was always there when I needed him.
These are all my rooms.
Okay, can you guys get a room, please?
These are all my rooms. Yeah, I think the whole point of couch surfing is that you're supposed to surf out at some point.
Jarrett, you can't avoid Finch forever. You can't. It's not like Belly's even there.
Belly's world is about to flip upside down again, and the trailer for The Summer I Turned Pretty. Season 3, Episode 11 proves it. The love, the heartbreak, the choices, everything we've been waiting for is building toward an ending that will leave fans breathless. This isn't just another chapter in Belly's life. This is the moment where futures collide, secrets come to the surface, and no one will walk away the same. The trailer for Episode 11 opens the door to a storm of emotions that fans have been craving, and you can already feel the tension building from the very first frame. Belly is shown in Paris, smiling, laughing, exploring her independence, like she has finally found a piece of herself outside of Conrad and Jeremiah. But the moment feels deceptive, because behind every laugh, behind every bright smile, there lingers the shadow of unfinished business. We know her heart has been pulled in two directions, and even though she tries to distract herself with this new life, the truth is, you cannot simply erase years of love, heartbreak, and betrayal. Paris might look like a dream, but the trailer suggests it's a dream that won't last. And here's the thing, while Belly might think she is moving forward, the ghosts of Cousins Beach are closer than ever, ready to follow her across oceans. Jeremiah's presence in this episode looms large, even though the trailer cleverly keeps him at the edges. We catch glimpses of his frustration, his need to run from the pain, his reckless decisions that show just how much Belly's choice destroyed him. He hides behind fleeting moments and empty connections. But Episode 11 seems ready to strip away those masks. The trailer suggests Jeremiah will have no choice but to face the hurt he's been avoiding for so long. And then there's Conrad. Quiet, steady, tortured Conrad. His role in this episode feels like the heartbeat of the entire story. He's not just watching from the sidelines anymore. He's taking action, finally stepping into the arena with everything on the line. When we see him with his packed bags and the ticket in his hand, ready to go to Paris, it's not just a trip, it's a declaration. Conrad has decided he cannot live in silence anymore, and Episode 11 promises to show us what happens when unspoken love finally explodes into the open. But make no mistake, this is not just about romance. It's about family, betrayal, and the scars of choices that cannot be undone. The trailer hints at a long-awaited confrontation between Conrad and Jeremiah. Fans have begged for this moment, and now it's finally here. These brothers have carried years of anger, jealousy, and heartbreak, and the trailer teases the raw honesty that's about to erupt. One line, sharp and unforgettable, stands out. "I loved her, and you ruined it." That single sentence is loaded with history, with pain that runs deeper than any romantic triangle ever could. It's not just about Belly anymore. It's about brotherhood, betrayal, and the fragile thread that binds these two together. Episode 11 looks set to push them to the breaking point, and the only question is whether they will heal or destroy each other for good. And Belly, she may think she is in control, but Episode 11 is setting her up for the most difficult decision of her life. For once, it isn't just about choosing between Conrad and Jeremiah, it's about choosing herself, her identity, and her future. The trailer's lingering shots of her standing alone, staring into the distance, tell us everything we need to know. This is Belly's defining moment. Will she follow her heart, or will she run from it again? The suspense is unbearable, and the answers are only a week away. The tension in Episode 11 grows heavier with every second of the trailer, and the atmosphere shifts from calm reflections to an emotional storm that refuses to be ignored. Belly's journey through Paris was supposed to symbolize her growth, her ability to step away from the chaos of Cousins Beach and the endless tug-of-war between Conrad and Jeremiah. Yet the trailer makes one thing painfully clear. Running away from the past doesn't mean it won't follow you. Every scene hints at her internal struggle, a battle between the life she is trying to create and the love she cannot forget. Her laughter with new friends, her bright moments of independence, all of it feels fragile, as though it could shatter with one unexpected knock on the door. And when Conrad makes his way to Paris, you can feel that fragile peace threatening to collapse. His presence is not simply about romance, it's about forcing Belly to confront what she has been avoiding. For so long, Belly has chosen to bury her feelings beneath distractions, but episode 11 promises a moment where she can no longer hide. The trailer shows Conrad in a way we haven't seen him in a long time, determined, vulnerable, and willing to fight for the woman he has always loved. This isn't the quiet Conrad who hides his emotions behind closed doors. This is a young man desperate to stop history from repeating itself. He has lost Belly once, and he knows that letting her slip away again would mean losing her forever. His decision to pack up his life and travel across the ocean is the kind of reckless, all-or-nothing move that makes audiences hold their breath. It is both heartbreaking and hopeful, a sign that Conrad has reached a breaking point. And while some fans may see it as too little, too late, others will argue that this is the proof we have been waiting for, that Conrad's love for Belly is not just a fleeting teenage crush, but something deeper, something permanent. Episode 11 positions Conrad as the man who refuses to give up, no matter how much pain stands in his way. Jeremiah, on the other hand, represents the opposite side of this love story, a figure drowning in heartbreak and anger. The trailer spares no mercy in showing his unraveling, his desperate attempts to numb the loss by burying himself in meaningless encounters and distractions. But behind all of that chaos, there is a young man whose heart is breaking in silence. Episode 11 looks ready to strip away that facade and force Jeremiah to finally acknowledge the depth of his grief. When he confronts Conrad, the air is thick with years of resentment. His words, "I loved her and you ruined it," are not just a cry of betrayal. They are a confession of the wounds that have been festering for years. This is not simply about Belly choosing one brother over the other. It is about Jeremiah's entire world collapsing because of the choices of the people closest to him. His pain is raw, his anger justified, and his heartbreak palpable. What makes this trailer so electrifying is not just the promise of romantic resolutions, but the deeper theme of reconciliation. The Fisher brothers' relationship has been torn apart by secrets, jealousy, and betrayal, yet beneath all of that remains an unshakable bond of brotherhood. Episode 11 seems to be the moment where they either heal or shatter completely. The trailer gives us flashes of tension and confrontation, but also hints of laughter and quiet moments that suggest forgiveness may not be impossible. And this duality, rage, and reconciliation creates a suspense unlike anything we've seen so far. Fans know that the outcome of this confrontation will shape not just Belly's decision, but the entire future of these characters. If the brothers cannot find peace with one another, then Belly's choice may only deepen the fractures. But if they can forgive, then perhaps for the first time, love might bring healing instead of destruction. And then there is Belly herself, caught between the two forces pulling her in opposite directions. Episode 11 does not just promise to put her in the middle of another love triangle, it positions her at the center of a decision that defines who she is becoming. The trailer makes it clear that she is no longer the uncertain, hesitant girl we met at the beginning of the series. She is stronger now, more aware of what she wants, but still haunted by the fear of hurting someone she loves. Her reflections in Paris, her moments of homesickness, and her longing for the past all suggest that Belly has not truly closed the chapter on Conrad or Jeremiah. Instead, she is standing at a crossroads where both paths hold pieces of her heart. Episode 11 is building toward that pivotal moment when she must decide whether to protect Jeremiah, to honor the bond they built, or to embrace the passion and permanence of her love for Conrad. Either choice will come with sacrifice, and the trailer teases that the weight of that sacrifice will shape the rest of the series. The suspense lies not in whether Conrad loves Belly or Jeremiah feels betrayed. We already know those truths. The suspense lies in what Belly will do when faced with a choice that has no easy answer. The trailer deliberately leaves us hanging, showing glimpses of Conrad's determination, Jeremiah's rage, and Belly's uncertainty, but never revealing the outcome. That silence, that gap between what we see and what we don't, is what makes episode 11 feel so monumental. Fans are left with their hearts racing, their minds spinning with possibilities, and their emotions tangled in knots of hope and dread. Will Belly follow her heart and risk breaking it again, or will she protect herself by choosing a safer path that could leave her unfulfilled? Episode 11 is the turning point, the moment everything comes together or falls apart, and the trailer makes sure we know that nothing will ever be the same again. What makes episode 11 so unique compared to everything we have seen before is that the story is no longer only about teenage heartbreak and summer flings. It has grown into a tale of consequences, maturity, and the unavoidable reality that choices carve paths you cannot simply undo. The trailer masterfully hints at this shift, showing Belly in reflective moments that reveal the weight of all she has been through. Every decision she has made, every relationship she has pursued, and every mistake she has endured is now converging into one defining point. The heartbreaks of Cousins Beach, the letters from Conrad, the broken promises with Jeremiah, all of these echoes from the past are closing in on her, demanding answers. And the haunting question that lingers over the trailer is this: can Belly finally rise above the chaos she helped create, or will she remain forever tangled in it? Conrad's journey toward Paris is more than a romantic gesture. It is a declaration of war against time, fate, and silence. For seasons, he has been the character defined by restraint, by hesitation, by an almost tragic inability to say the words when they mattered most. But episode 11's trailer promises to showcase a Conrad who has had enough of waiting. Every step he takes toward Paris is charged with desperation and hope. It is not simply that he wants to see Belly, it is that he needs to prove to her, to Jeremiah, and perhaps most importantly to himself, that his love is not fleeting, not fragile, and not something that can be buried under time or distance. This transformation in Conrad is what fans have been waiting for. Finally, he is no longer a bystander in his own story, but a man willing to put everything on the line. And yet, this bold move does not erase the guilt of betraying his brother or the reality that Belly has already begun to move on. The suspense comes from wondering whether his grand gesture will be too late, whether Belly has already shut the door he is so desperately trying to open. Jeremiah's role in episode 11 is equally critical because the trailer suggests he is no longer willing to silently accept the pain that has consumed him. For too long, Jeremiah has been painted as the more open, the more affectionate, the more transparent of the two brothers, yet his openness has left him exposed to heartbreak again and again. The moments of him lashing out in the trailer are not just about jealousy. They are about years of feeling overshadowed, of being the second choice, of watching Belly and Conrad's quiet, unspoken bond, even during the height of his own relationship with her. This sense of betrayal runs deeper than the surface, and episode 11 promises to finally rip it wide open. Jeremiah is not just fighting for Belly, he is fighting to reclaim his own worth, his own identity beyond being the boy she chose to heal her wounds with. His anger is not only directed at Conrad, but also at Belly, and the trailer suggests that his confrontation will be brutal in its honesty. Whether this honesty leads to healing or destruction remains the great unknown, and that uncertainty is what makes this episode so thrilling. Belly stands at the center of all of this, and the trailer shows her as more conflicted than ever. She may be in Paris, building a new life, meeting new people, but the truth is written in every frame. The past is not gone, and her heart has not forgotten. The voicemail to her mother, the quiet moments of homesickness, the pauses when she thinks no one is watching, all of these remind us that beneath the facade of independence, she is still carrying the weight of everything left unresolved. The trailer's brilliance is that it does not show her choosing, it shows her hesitating. And hesitation, in a story built on love triangles, is more explosive than any choice could be. Because hesitation means possibility. Hesitation means that the story is not over. Hesitation means that no matter what new life Belly is trying to build, Conrad and Jeremiah will always remain part of her. The emotional climax teased in the trailer is not just about Belly choosing between Conrad and Jeremiah, but about whether the three of them can finally confront the truth together. The brothers' confrontation is inevitable, but what is even more suspenseful is whether Belly will find the courage to step into that confrontation instead of avoiding it as she so often has. The look on her face, the intensity in Conrad's eyes, and the desperation in Jeremiah's voice all suggest that episode 11 will not allow her to remain silent. She will be forced to face the consequences of every decision she has made, and in doing so, she will also have to face the truth of her own heart. This is where the story transforms from a simple love triangle into something deeper, a meditation on loyalty, betrayal, forgiveness, and the painful process of growing up. And then, the trailer leaves us dangling with one final thread of suspense: the possibility of reconciliation. Despite all the anger, all the heartbreak, all the betrayal, the trailer hints at moments of softness between the brothers, moments where their shared laughter slips through the cracks of their anger. It is a reminder that underneath it all, Conrad and Jeremiah are still bound by blood, by childhood memories, by a love for the same people and the same places. The question episode 11 raises is whether that bond can survive the storm they are caught in. Will Belly's choice destroy them forever, or will it finally allow them to rebuild as brothers, stronger than before? The suspense is unbearable, because for fans, this is not just about who ends up with Belly, it is about whether the Fisher family itself can survive. Episode 11 promises a collision of past, present, and future in a way that feels both terrifying and exhilarating. Belly's hesitation, Conrad's determination, Jeremiah's rage, all of these forces are spiraling toward one inevitable explosion. The trailer gives us enough to know that something monumental is coming, but withholds just enough to keep us restless, replaying every second in search of clues. And that is the genius of it. The knowledge that no matter what happens, the world of The Summer I Turned Pretty will never look the same after this episode.